there's time. So just FYI, my name is Monica Hendricks. I'm your executive director if you don't know me. Raise your hand or if this is your very first all-staff meeting. Anyone? Oh, yay! Wait, where's your hands higher? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I hope I captured you guys on the slide. We'll have you introduce yourselves later. Always a fun thing. All right, here's our agenda today, pretty quick. We're going to do a brief agency updates, a little bit of staff recognition. We're going to do some region updates, service awards and star awards, and then we're going to say thank you and eat. So keeping it really pared down, especially since last all staff I went over, even though I had promised not to. So today I've got a timekeeper right there. Okay? All right. So really quick, here's some agency updates. So since the last time that we all came together, we've had some pretty significant changes in our leadership structure. So some of you who are new and maybe don't know this, but those of you who are here. So we did have a transition in our CEO over the past, say, 5 weeks. And so Nancy Rubin, who was our previous CEO, who retired from us, she was here almost 10 years, who our last CEO, Matt, replaced, has come back in an interim status right now and has been holding down the fort with us, working with the exec team to kind of keep everything going, reaching out to our different donors and stakeholders and county and community partners, and has been working with our board around the next CEO search. So right now, things are still in flux. We actually don't have any finite answers as to like how long Nancy will be in her interim role and next stages, because really she's just getting back in the groove, just trying to learn about the agency all over again, because even if you're with us for 10 years, you go away for 5 years, we've changed a lot in 5 years. So she's kind of learning about where we are right now, spending a lot of time talking to everybody and wanting to just get the lay of the land. So what that means for our region is that we're setting up a whole series of meetings for her to come into your staff meetings and spend some time introducing herself and just talking. She basically has 2 questions she wants to ask people. How's it going? What's going on? Is there anything I should know about? Are there concerns? That was a lot more than 2 questions, wasn't it? But it's kind of all in the same idea. She just wants to hear, and her goal is to hear from and have a conversation with every staff member. So she's making her way to every staff meeting. We're trying to combine some. But that's going to really help her suss out what are the agency's current needs, where are we at, and how to advise the board on next steps. Parallel to that, the board is launching a search right now for our next CEO. So Nancy could be in her role 6 months. She could be in her role 2 years. We have no idea. It's not defined. Sometimes that can make you anxious if you want, clearly defined. We're just rolling with it right now and getting a lot of support from her. So that's kind of where we are on our CEO front. You guys should probably be seeing her in the next few weeks down here in a variety of team meetings. All right? Any questions about that? No? You guys are too easy on me. I want to do a quick finance update. So we just wrapped up the first quarter of the fiscal year. It ended September 30th and just looked at how we were doing after Q1. So finance just put out some reports for us to look at how we were doing from a programmatic standpoint, regional standpoint, agency standpoint. And what I can say is looking really, really good. So coming off of a very difficult kind of end of the last fiscal year and then moving into this new fiscal year, what I can say is it looks like leaps and bounds have already been made. So our first quarter, we ended in a positive way in comparison to where we thought we would end. There's been a lot of shifts and changes around things like revenue and census and EPSDT billings and all of the stuff that makes for the perfect storm of either really great foundation for a financial climate or potentially not so great. We're looking like we're on a trajectory that's doing so much better. So whatever turns that we were making programmatically as an agency and department-wise leading into this fiscal year are holding steady. So after Q1, I can say the only thing I really want to report to you is that we're on the right track, we're on a good trajectory, and things are looking good. So it's nice to be able to stand up and say that to you, actually. And as a region, we're still doing really, really well. You guys are doing awesome. Keep it up. I'm tracking numbers. You guys keep doing what you're doing. We're doing awesome. Good. All right. I can even dwell on that. HR update. So couple different things that are going on with HR right now. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. A couple different things that are going on with HR right now. So we have finally started embarking on the union negotiations. So for those of you who have been here a while, you might have heard this before. For those who are new, we have a small group of staff members in a few of our campus programs who are actually unionized. This has been kind of the past year. We've had some changes going on. We actually had a union vote. We've got a group of staff that are union now, and we haven't started the negotiations up until just recently. So HR has been really working with Lori on campus, who's one of my counterparts, the executive director of campus, and a ton of work in HR is going towards this. I'm looking at today like, to meet with our union reps, to understand what they're looking for as far as contract negotiations and establishing. It's going to be a very long process because we are learning about the union and the union is learning about us and what we do and how we do business and all of that. So there's nothing happening right now immediately except for we're finally at the table starting those conversations. So I will give you guys updates, or HR will give you updates at the staff meetings moving forward just to keep you all apprised of what's happening. But that's one area that HR has been tremendously focused on and will continue to be. A second area for HR just to update is that we're in the open enrollment period right now. So later today in the kitchen between 4 and 5, we will have health reps for you to stop in, chat with, grab some materials. So please go ahead and do that. And if you have any questions about health enrollment, you can see HR, Shadea, or anybody. So that's started right now.
If we're keeping everything the same, do we need to do something?
No.
There you go.
Good
No.
answer.
If you're keeping status quo, great question. Nothing to do. All right. Oh, and the final thing I think for an HR update is that I mentioned to you guys a while ago. Everyone here is no stranger to that recruiting is one of our biggest goals. I won't say challenges. It's one of our biggest goals is to be working on a recruiting plan and kind of finding where all of the staff are. And that's not unique to us. It's actually all of our partner agencies. It's the county. I mean, right now everyone's kind of fishing from the same pond. So we've engaged a recruiter. Ken and Shadea and the HR team have been talking with the recruiter, my understanding is, about what are our key positions that they need to focus on first and creating a recruitment strategy with that recruiter to really try to narrow down and fill those gaps of positions that are missing. So what Ken and I are going to be doing is meeting with Shadea to really outline all of our open positions that we have right now and start targeting where we want the recruiter to be looking at. So happy to hear feedback. If you have anything you'd like to suggest or throw at me that I can bring to HR, that would be great. But that is something that I mentioned to you guys a few months ago was going to happen, and it's happening currently. So we are embarking on that right now. Questions? I told you I would. Right through this. And then I am not going to do IT updates because I am technologically deficient. So I'm going to introduce Pam Coca. Pam is the director of our IT infrastructure, and she's going to walk you through some slides. So welcome, Pam.
And I promised to keep my update to 10 minutes because I know you guys have a short meeting today. So I might talk really fast, but that's normal for me, so I apologize ahead of time. So this is going to help keep me on track a little bit. So a couple of things I wanted to update you guys on. The first item you see here is our email migration project, which we've just kicked off this week. We just had our first meeting 2 days ago. And so what this is all about is our current email platform that we use, Microsoft Exchange, you all know it as Outlook. We are going to be migrating to Microsoft's Office 365 product. So from your perspective, things actually won't look a lot different because you're going to keep using Outlook. You're going to use the same version of Outlook. So in a lot of ways, it's going to be kind of the same. So you might say, well, why are we doing it, right? So the reason we're doing it, there's a couple things that I'm really excited about. So one of them is our current email servers and stuff that we have, like our infrastructure here at Edgewood, is quite dated. It needs to be upgraded, both the software, the hardware. There's buggy things that have been going on in the system for some time. I see some nods and smiles. And you know, the current email infrastructure also, in my personal opinion, I don't know if everyone would agree, is a little complex for the size of our environment. So by migrating to Office 365, we're going to basically give all of the infrastructure components to Microsoft, and it's going to run in their cloud. So we're not going to be responsible anymore for upgrading hardware on our email servers. When there's a new version of the software, Microsoft does the update. We may need to upgrade Outlook that you guys will continue to use, but everything else will be handled on the back end by Microsoft. So it's a little bit of a, less of a burden from an IT support perspective. But another thing that we will get as we migrate to Office 365 that I think all of you will also be really excited about is, although you're going to continue to use Outlook, Office 365 has a HIPAA compliance piece built into it. So that means, yes, right? So that means you will be able to send emails to people outside of Edgewood and encrypt them. It also means that I know, it's probably the most exciting thing for you guys. Yes.
Send emails
And receive, yes. And the other kind of cool thing I think is we can apply HIPAA policies, if you will, that we can kind of tweak based on our needs, that will do things like prevent you from sending email to other people that contain sensitive types of information. So we can say PHI data, sorry, you can't send that. It'll just outright block it. We could also say, instead of blocking, maybe we'll let you send it, but it'll notify someone, either you or your manager, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what all the settings are yet, I'll admit to that. But it's pretty cool because we do not have that today. And probably 6 to 8 months ago, I had looked at a third-party product that we could build on top of our existing environment to do this. And it's expensive, integration is complex. So anyways, it's really nice that we're gonna get this as part of the project. So we just had a kickoff meeting this week. They are doing some requirements gathering, design and stuff like that over the next month and a half. I was hoping to get the first pilot group in before Christmas, but it looks like it's probably gonna be early January. So the first pilot group will be about 50 people across the agency, so we'll have some people from this location, some from campus. We'll try to spread it out, kind of a good representation of the different types of staff and what have you that will be using it. And then, depending on how that goes, we'll decide on the schedule for everyone else. I would really like to see it fully rolled out within a couple of months. So if we start pilot group beginning of January, I would hope by end of February, March at the latest, we would actually have everybody done. So that's my most exciting update. Everything else, actually no, I'm sorry, number 2, the ticket system. All right, our ticket system, as I'm sure you all know, has been a little bit sick for a while. It's gone from bad to worse just these last couple days. In fact, I was sitting in the back emailing the guys about the ticket system. So we do have a new ticket system, which I had hoped to already have in place by now. We've had just a few complications around configuration and stuff like that. But honestly, just given the issues even we're just seeing these last couple days, I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna do it. Like Monday, you might come in and have a brand new ticket system. So just be watching for maybe an email from me, because I'm just kind of fed up with the current problems that we're having. And similar to another reason why I'm excited about this is it's similar to Microsoft Office 365. So we've chosen a hosted ticket system, a hosted platform. So we're no longer going to have to, again, be responsible for the physical server the system sits on, do the upgrades. It's all going to be handled by third party. So you guys will go to a web page similar to you do today. It'll look a little bit different, but otherwise, it's pretty exciting. So watch for an update on that, just because again, it's gone from bad to worse just in like 2 days. So, all right, so a couple infrastructure upgrades. So I was trying to keep this relevant, mainly to you guys. So the first one, UPS, and I know a lot of you will say, what is that? This is not the delivery service UPS. This stands for uninterruptible power supply. So what that is, it's a big, ugly, heavy box that sits in the server room, and all the power for all of our servers goes through that unit. And that is supposed to protect us from power surges, power outages, things like that. So we've had, I'm trying to think now, in San Carlos, we've had 2 or 3 glitches with the power just in the last 2 months or so that have resulted in huge problems. So, email has, we come in the next morning, email's not working quite right, VDI's down, whatever. Because we had a slight interruption to the power. The current UPS is not working properly, so it didn't kick in and protect us like it should. So tomorrow night, we're installing a new UPS unit. So that means if we have another small glitch in the power, we should be protected. And I say small, the unit that we purchased, because you can go from like very simple UPS units that will protect you for a couple minutes to UPS units that are like hundreds of thousands of dollars that will protect you for hours or whatever. We decided on a unit that will protect us for about 30 minutes. So we had to look at, all of the issues that we've had over the last while. I went back and talked to Dawn actually in facilities to say, you've been here for 12 years or what have you. In your experience, the power issues you've seen, how long do they typically last? So if we have a big disaster, this unit's not going to protect us for more than 30 minutes. But given our past experience, I think, we should be fine. We have other things in place, by the way, if there's, a big disaster. So monitoring, so this is just something my team has been working on, is a monitoring system, which we don't have in place today. So today we're very reactive. A lot of times you guys know there's a problem before we know there's a problem, which is not the way it should be. So we, like I said, we come in the morning and people are, email's not working, VDI, can't do this, can't do that, whatever it happens to be. And this system is going to tell us, hopefully, before you guys know, so that we're not being so reactive all the time. It's got some things built into it that, just for example, it'll monitor disk space on our servers. So as it's getting to that critical point, it will tell us. It won't wait and tell us, when it's actually out of space. So it helps us be a little bit more proactive. Wireless. So we're upgrading our wireless kind of across the board. So this is not just here in San Carlos. We're upgrading at campus. Bayview, I don't know if any of you ever go to Bayview. We actually have no wireless in Bayview right now. So we will have wireless in Bayview. The goal is to have wireless in all of the offices for the staff, as well as a guest network that our guests can use. So that is in progress right now. That one, unfortunately, this one is we've had it on our list as long as I've been here, actually. We've really just put a lot of effort into it the last couple months, but unfortunately it keeps kind of falling to the bottom of that priority list when other things bubble up, like our ticket system problems, for example. So I'm hoping the wireless project can be done sometime in December, but again, just kind of depends how things go over the next little while. The last thing is internet. So this one's actually done, I realized this morning when I was looking at these slides. So we upgraded the internet connection in South San Francisco. I don't know how many people. Hands, yes, some people, okay. So when we first opened the office there, basically they couldn't come in fast enough to give us the connection we wanted, so they gave us this temporary circuit. And I had heard from at least a couple of people that it was a little slow doing certain things. So we just upgraded that circuit day before yesterday, I think. I've lost track of the days. So it should be better. So let me know if you're still finding it slow, but it should be better.
Dan,
Yes.
quick question about the email.
Yes.
Is part of what you're trying to tell us that there will be an encryption system connected to our email now?
You will be able to encrypt emails, yes.
Ah.
Yes. It's a pretty big deal. You don't have that option right now. So I'll make this slide really quick. This picture has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about. I just thought it was cute. It says iPhone YouTube. So a really quick update about VDI. So I've been here just over a year, and VDI has been the plague of the universe to me, I tell you. It's been horrible. We've had a lot of issues with it, and we've tried to fix it, and it has actually gone from bad to worse. And so we've kind of generally in our team, we've made a decision to move away from VDI. And some of you I know have already had your desktops replaced. Over the next while, I'll say a couple months perhaps, we hope to get most of them done. If you're having any chronic issues with VDI, we can absolutely replace your desktop right away if you so desire. It's just really hard to do everybody at once, so we're kind of prioritizing right now because there's that, and then we have all these other things we're trying to do. So, and there's some processes we need to get in place as well to just make that whole sort of other way of working, I'll say, operate efficiently. So we're working on those things. In fact, Sam Chen this week is in training because of that. So, so that's VDI. And then just in general, ongoing IT challenges, I just wanted to say something really quick about this. So I've been meeting kind of ad hoc, if you will, with different groups in various different offices who I've kind of heard through the grapevine that they're having some kind of an issue with something ongoing for a long time in some cases. And so I go and I meet with them and I talk with them. And I've observed a couple things. So one is that we have a lot of problems that we still need to fix, although I feel like we've made some good progress. But the second thing is, it's been interesting. In fact, I just had a meeting the other day where one of the problems that the whole team was experiencing was a really easy problem to fix. And I don't know if anyone had ever reported it to IT. It was definitely the first time I had heard about it. And it was a really easy fix. And so it concerns me because I'm thinking there's probably other things out there like this. And then, of course, we have things that are harder to fix as well. And something that's come out in those meetings is, it's just been really good, I think, for me to talk directly to people and get more, actually having people show me the problem rather than just trying to describe it through a ticket or what have you. And so I'm basically offering to any of you, if any of this sounds like something like, hey, we should, talk about whatever, problem you may be having or your teams are experiencing, please just reach out to me and we can schedule time to talk for you to show me the problem, whatever it's going to take to get resolution on some of these things. Some of them are complex, the VDI issues are a great example. Like, it wasn't just something that we could just fix. In fact, we haven't, and we've kind of, I hate to say give up because I hate giving up, but it's just at some point people need to be able to work. That's kind of where the VDI decision came from. But there's, workarounds for things and sometimes easy fixes. So I'm just offering, reach out to me if you feel like you've hit a roadblock or you've tried to report the problem in the past and didn't get anywhere, whatever it is. 2 minutes? Yeah, I'm gonna make it. I got one more slide. Question?
And Jamila's role is to work with IT really specifically for our region to kind of liaise around issues. I'm totally throwing you out. But so,
which we do.
Yeah.
We
so
do.
I'm saying, rather than you field 1,000 emails,
Sure.
we could probably go through our internal process of looping Jamila in.
Yeah, that's great, because I don't have a Jamila everywhere else. I wish I did. Can we just clone you? This is my last slide.
There's one question in the back.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm curious, are we going to revamp the filtering of the IT tickets or do any kind of feedback loop since we've had it for a long time? Because of the reason that you just mentioned, some people never do tickets because they don't know, what is this VDI that you're talking about? I bet there's people in the room that are going, do I have that? I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely there are.
Right?
But, yeah.
So, but there's a filtering. Is this a portal problem? I don't know, so I'm not going to go through the process of trying to figure that out. I'm just going to talk to Sam or I'm going to deal with it or whatever. So I just wonder if that process is a little complicated for some of our staff, probably me, I'm talking about. So I'm curious if there's any chance to do a feedback on what were the challenges with the current system, if there's an opportunity to make them better for the new system.
Definitely, and the new system is completely different. So part of my frustration in getting it going has been sometimes I've been trying to clone something we did over here and it just doesn't work like that in the new system. And so I've taken a step back to say we need to do things differently in a lot of cases. So absolutely, yeah, I do agree. In fact, that's something else that's come out in the meetings is that the process for reporting things to IT is definitely a pain point for a lot of people. Partly because sometimes, a lot of times, we just don't know how to describe the problem. And like you said, is it a VDI issue? Some people don't know if they use VDI, which, that's just it's just a fact. So I definitely think it's something that we can improve. Are we going to be able to do that before we get the new ticket system out? Possibly not, because of the fact, like I said, you might come in Monday morning and boom, it's there. Because right now, we can't even get the webpage to come up. It's actually that broken. So if we can get it to come up and have it, prolong it a little bit longer, let's say, then definitely there's more opportunity to do that. So I'll think more about how we might be able to accommodate that if we can buy some time. Go ahead. Question?
So like for example, I didn't know that. So like literally right before coming here, I submitted
You were trying
a ticket.
yeah.
But I just usually do it as an email. So if you guys are not able to see that, then what do we do in the meantime if we are having issues?
So I'm planning to send out an email this afternoon. Once I get out of this meeting, I think I'll have a better idea. Is it going to come back up or not?
Okay.
And in the interim, if it doesn't, what I'm going to ask people to do is send an email to us. So I'll just create probably a new address that we can use temporarily. And we're going to have to do it through email. That's going to be worst case. So if it's still not working this afternoon, that's probably what you're going to see as an email from me asking you guys to do that.
Okay.
So I know I'm out of time. So just really quick, this is kind of my motto. So as I'm making decisions about what the heck are we going to work on, because we have so many things, if it doesn't kind of go in line with, either simplifying things or standardizing or automating, because I kind of feel like this is why we're in a little bit of a mess that we're in, because we haven't done these things, then, I kind of question why we're doing it if it doesn't kind of fit in somewhere here. So anyway, I think that's it. So I just want to say thank you because, again, I know we have a lot of issues and you guys have been really patient. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And as I said, you can reach out to me if you want to ask a question, talk, whatever. Thank you.